Hello everyone, my name is Beatrice Muturi. Currently I'm a student at California Intercontinental University, and today I will be presenting on hypothesis testing through visualization. The agenda for this presentation is on hypothesis definition, which has the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis, test for a mean, comparing two groups, efficiency comparison, correlation test, and the takeaways from this presentation and questions thereafter. So what is the definition of hypothesis? According to Sekaran and Buji in 2013, a hypothesis can be defined as a tentative yet testable statement which predicts what you expect to find in your empirical data. So basically, a hypothesis is a statement that can be tested as true or not true, and it forms the basis for a research project. Here we have two types of hypotheses. The null hypothesis, which proposes that there is no statistical significance that exists between two variables in a hypothesis, and the alternative hypothesis, which is the opposite of the null hypothesis, and it shows that there's a statistical significance between two variables in hypothesis. The first visualization is the test for a mean, and here we are looking at the probability of defects produced per every 100 widgets. The research question states that on average, are the widgets from the Acme Widget Company defect-free? We can come up with a null hypothesis that states that the probability of defect widgets are 0 out of 100 produced, and an alternative hypothesis that states that there's a probability of defect widgets per every 100 widgets produced. Per the bell curve, we can see that at 0, we have a 40% chance probability of defective widgets. Therefore, we reject the null hypothesis and take the alternative hypothesis. The second visualization is comparing two groups, where we have two teams to compare against each other, the major league team and the minor league team, on the average number of home run hitters. The question reads, does the average major league team have more home run hitters than its corresponding minor league team? So per the bell curves, we can come up with a null hypothesis that states that the major league team does not have more home run hitters than its corresponding minor league, and an alternative hypothesis that states that the major league team has more home run hitters than its corresponding minor league team. Per the bell curve, we can see that the red team has on average 15 home run hitters, and the major league team has 16 home run hitters on average. So we have to reject the null hypothesis and keep the alternative hypothesis. The third visualization is efficiency comparison between the red and the blue team. The research question asks, do the teams have equal mean efficiencies? So per the bell curves, we can come up with a null hypothesis that states the red and the blue team have equal mean efficiencies, and an alternative hypothesis that states that there's a difference in efficiency between the red and the blue team. Per the curve, you can see the red curve took longer hours to serve the same number of people per hour, while the blue team took less hours to serve the same number of people per hour. So we have to reject the null hypothesis as the blue team was more efficient than the red team. The fourth visualization is the correlation test, where a German study tested how large of industrial use vans utilized gasoline. On one of the analyses plotted miles per gallon versus the weight of the various vans in the study. After plotting the data on a scatter plot, the researchers found a correlation test and found a significant correlation. However, they did forget to state their hypothesis in their published paper. So we do not have a question for this correlation test, but we can come up with a null hypothesis that says there's no correlation between miles per gallon and the weight of the van, and an alternative hypothesis that states there's a correlation between miles per gallon and the weight of the van. And according to the scatter plot, as we can see, as the weight increases of the van, the miles per gallon decreases. So we have to reject the null hypothesis, as the alternative hypothesis is true because there's a correlation between the weight and the mile of the vans and the miles per gallon. Thank you for watching. If you have any question, please feel free to ask below, or if you have any comment, you can comment below. Thank you.